Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're diving into some seriously spooky
Wow,
stories
yeah.
surrounding Robin Williams' former home
Oh,
in
yeah.
Paradise Cay, California. You know that gorgeous waterfront mansion?
Yeah, beautiful spot.
It's been empty for a while now, but the stories coming out of it
Right.
are anything but quiet. We've got YouTube videos, online accounts, even a few like whispered tales
Mhm.
from locals,
Mm.
all hinting at some seriously strange occurrences.
Mm.
So buckle up,
Okay.
because we're delving into the question that's been haunting everyone.
Right.
Is Robin Williams' spirit truly lingering in the house, or is there something else at play?
Well, what's so intriguing right away about this case is just the variety of the phenomena that's being reported.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like your typical creaking floorboards and cold spots. We're
Right.
talking flickering lights,
Yeah.
unexplained shadows, whispers, apparitions, even phone calls from. Well, we don't know who or what. This isn't just one type of haunting.
Right.
It's a whole buffet of paranormal activity.
It really is. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it so compelling. For anyone who loves a good ghost story,
Yeah.
you think you've got to figure it out,
Right.
and then bam, another curveball.
Right.
Take the story of the local fisherman,
Okay.
who often passes by the house at night. He's reported seeing this pulsating blue glow in the windows.
Yeah.
Almost like someone's moving from room to room with a flashlight.
Yeah.
But the house is supposed to be empty.
That's a great example of what makes this case so fascinating. If it's not a living person, what could be causing that light?
Exactly.
Is it residual energy somehow imprinted on the house, a spirit tied to the location, or something else entirely?
Right.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle, but you're missing pieces.
Yeah, and the pieces keep getting weirder.
Yeah.
There's this thing people are calling the 3.08 a.m. phenomenon.
Okay.
Multiple people, completely independently, have reported hearing a voice outside the house at precisely 3.08 in the morning.
Now, in paranormal investigations, specific times often hold significance. Think about it. 3.08 a.m. is considered the witching hour, a time when the veil between our world and the spirit world is said to be thinnest.
Right.
Could this be why this voice chooses this specific time to manifest? It really does add like another layer to the mystery, doesn't it? Especially for those who believe in the power of the witching hour.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
A former friend of Robin Williams received a voicemail.
Uh,
And the voice, well, it sounded eerily like him, right down to his signature laugh.
it's like something out of a horror movie. That chilling feeling when you hear a voice that should be impossible.
Yeah.
And then there's the story of the woman who received a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end simply whispered, "Come back home."
Those stories really tap into our deepest fears, don't they? The idea that someone or something might be trying to communicate from beyond the grave,
Right.
or even lure people back to the house, it's unsettling to say the least.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, what's their motivation? What are they trying to achieve? And that brings us to another piece of this puzzle.
All right.
The unexplained piano music. Several people have reported hearing music coming from the empty house, specifically a melody from Good Will Hunting.
Now, why that specific piece, Good Will Hunting, holds a special place in Robin Williams' filmography.
Yeah.
It's a film about healing, about finding your voice, and about the power of human connection. Could it be that his spirit is trying to connect with us through the art that he loves so much?
It's a beautiful thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
That even in death, art can serve as a bridge between worlds.
Yeah.
It's almost as if his spirit is trying to communicate a message of hope and resilience.
It's certainly a possibility, but we also have to consider the darker side of this story, particularly the discovery of a hidden journal within the house.
Okay.
The entries describe a growing sense of fear, a feeling of being trapped, culminating in a chilling line. It's not just my voice I hear anymore. There's something else in the room with me watching, waiting.
Okay, that's where things get really creepy. If this journal is authentic, it suggests that something darker, more sinister might be at play. Maybe it's not just Robin Williams' spirit, but another entity entirely, something potentially malevolent.
Right, it's a chilling thought. And it's in line with a recent account that adds a whole new level of creepiness to this story.
Okay.
A man named Thomas, a former friend of Robin's, returned to the house after years of staying away. He felt an icy presence and heard a voice warning him not to go inside.
In most ghost stories, that's the point where the sensible person turns around and runs.
Exactly. But Thomas, perhaps driven by curiosity or loyalty to his friend, ignored the warning and entered the house. He found the journal we mentioned earlier and began to read. As he read, he heard the piano music again, the same Good Will Hunting melody, but distorted and unsettling this time, almost desperate.
It's like whatever's playing the piano is feeding off his fear growing stronger with each note.
That's a chilling interpretation, and it gets even more intense. As Thomas is leaving the study, he sees a shadowy figure resembling Robin Williams standing in the doorway.
No way. Seriously.
According to Thomas, yes. The figure whispers, "He won't stop until you join him," and then adds, "You can't leave, not yet." This is where the case takes a truly sinister turn. The implication is that whatever is present seeks to trap others, adding them to its spectral audience. It's no longer just a haunting, it's become something predatory.
Wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So what do we make of all this? Is it Robin's spirit trying to communicate, or is it something else entirely, something darker? Are these events connected, or are they separate occurrences happening in the same location?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, after diving into all these accounts, I think we've probably raised more questions than answers.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what's really going on in that house.
It really does, and that's what makes this case so compelling for anyone who's, ever been intrigued by ghost stories or the paranormal. You have this beautiful mansion, once filled with life and laughter, now seemingly shrouded in mystery and potentially something darker.
It's almost like the house itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And for those who believe in the power of place, that can be a very potent concept.
Absolutely. Places hold energy. They absorb the experiences, the emotions, the very essence of the people who inhabit them.
Yeah.
And in the case of Robin Williams, a man known for his immense energy, his humor, his depth of emotion, it's not hard to imagine that some of that energy might linger.
Especially given the circumstances of his passing.
Yeah.
It's natural for people to wonder if there's unfinished business, if his spirit might be trying to communicate something.
Right. And in the stories we've discussed today, the phone calls, the piano music, the shadowy figure, they all feed into that narrative. They give us glimpses into a world beyond our understanding, a world where perhaps death is not the end,
Right.
but a transition to something else.
But as we've seen, there's also a darker side to this story.
Yeah.
The journal entry, the feeling of being trapped, the predatory nature of that final encounter. It's a reminder that not all spirits are benevolent, not all hauntings are harmless.
Exactly. And that's what makes exploring these stories so fascinating. It's a journey into the unknown, a dance with the shadows where we have to confront our own fears and beliefs.
So where does that leave us? What's the takeaway for our listeners who are just as captivated by this case as we are?
I think the most important thing is to keep an open mind. Don't dismiss the stories outright, but don't accept them blindly either. Weigh the evidence, consider the possibilities,
Right.
and most importantly, trust your own intuition.
Because in the end, the truth about what's happening in Robin Williams' former home may remain elusive.
Yeah.
But the questions it raises, the stories it inspires, they stay with us. They challenge us to look beyond the veil of our reality and consider what might lie just beyond our perception.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll have more pieces of this puzzle to share. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that spark of curiosity alive.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the strange and mysterious world of Robin Williams' former home. Until next time, stay curious and keep those ghost lights burning.